Satnam, everybody, good evening. Here we are. We are in Moscow today, not in America, but the other side, on the east side of the. We are on the periphery of Moscow, actually, and I'm ready for you. So I guess you're coming slowly, and in a few seconds, we'll be starting KARTA time number 4. Hello, hello, my friends. You're all coming slowly and join this YouTube channel where we are producing in a new way our KARTA time number 4. So we come on our 4 legs, which is a symbol of Dharma. So we are keeping up, we are consistent, and today we are happy to be with you. Hello, Sadnam, everybody. I guess you hear me clearly, and I have no way to check. So I am in the blue, and I'm with you, and I guess you are with me. So let's tune in. We're gonna bring our palm together and focus on our heart center. I know that you can hear me and how you can say Om Namo Gurudev Namo Om Namo Adgure Name, Chugadgure Name, Sadgure Name, Siri Gurudeve Name, Adgure Name, Chugadgure Name, Sadgure Name, Siri Gurudeve Name, Adgure Name, Chugadgure Name, Sadgure Name, Siri Gurudeve Name. So this is an amazing adventure, and I feel very excited. So we are now in the middle of an amazing week here. It's the end of the cycle of apprenticeship, like the 3 years of training, and these people are going through now transform death as their best friend. So this is this last module. This is amazing, and we have Haranand here teaching the Gatka with us, and Sirideva, who's joining from St. Petersburg and help us for translation, but also with the whole school. So first of all, I follow up from our last KARTA time 3, and I was underlining and being I say, consistent with that Amritnam Sarovar is not an institution, and that was my last words. But meanwhile, through these 4 weeks, we have boiled the question, and we went through then what? Who are we today? And as we have regularly redefined our mission statement, what came as a nice channeling process and co-creative process among some of the teachers where we were meeting together, came out this new mission statement that update Amritnam Sarovar mission statement. So this will give you a more sense of our direction, and I think many of you are looking for a consistent direction. So who we are today, and I will ask Sirideva to read that mission statement.
So we are an inspired community dedicated to serve the great awakening of humanity. We welcome the transformation through experience with support and love, so anyone may discover and deliver their soul purpose. Together we manifest the new.
Can you give me that mic? Yes. So you understand the change is very radical, that we are not orienting ourselves to produce teachers massively. This is all gone. What we realize is if we are not an institution, we are an amazing network of consistent people who went through the test of time and consistent in their positionment about their practice, about their projection, and about the sharing of the teaching they've really experienced. So we keep the connection between us, and we keep valuing each other's gift and uniqueness. So this is the beauty of our network. It is no contract. It is just based on looking into the eyes and trusting one another that we belong to the same tribe. So basically, that's the essence of what we used to call a school. That school has produced these people, and these people are here now, and that school disappeared to give place to a strong network vibrating with high frequency of presence on the planet, where each one of you is doing an amazing work every day, sharing their own experience to the highest level of possibility. So I think we are a network, and we are a community, which doesn't mean any regulation, any rules, any codes, and any conformity. Community means I connect to everybody that share the same spirit and recognize himself as sharing that spirit. So we serve what? We serve the great awakening. This is really what is happening now. We were before preparing people for the Aquarian Age, and we were projecting that we will be the leader of the Aquarian Age and all that stuff. Today, there is no leader. It's only people who assess themselves and self-empower themselves and keep up through the time. And we'll see later through this lecture that time is really confronting us, and we're all in front of the same bottom wall. So we are serving the Great Awakening because we recognize that humanity is on an amazing, giant transformation wave, and we prepare ourselves to be part of that manifestation and be part to create that new humanity. So we believe in transformation, but not like put the gem on the top, change the color of the restaurant, or change the color of your car, but transformation means mute into your physical plan. That's what I was explaining in my last KARTA Time. It has to go down deep into the physical level. And through experience, so which is not anymore about a bunch of content that you put in the books that you refer to, and you deliver these books that anybody can read anywhere. So we are here people with a real experience that put themselves in a daily experience and on a life journey, and we are sharing that experience, our realization and our pitfall. So we support each other with love. Support means mentoring. So it's not exactly what we used to be, like just a teacher to deliver, but we are mentoring. That means we are working as a group consciousness with somebody who have done few more steps than the others, and will help to hold the space as a sacred space of listening. Then we inspire each other as the mirror group will reflect on very clearly where are your true limitations. And we are ready to listen, to accept, and to open ourselves up to become aware of where do we limit ourselves. So support, love, and anyone may discover his soul purpose. So this is really the topic of today is really the path of mastery. That was the theme of this year. And today, more especially, is how can you manifest your mastery? So I think this is really the core essence of the school. Awakening, this is, our training is not a teacher training, but it's a training into awakening of Kundalini energy. That's the tradition of the yoga. And the Shiva tradition, the original Tantra Kundalini practice. So we're coming back to that traditional practice and we apply it in the world of today. That's actually what we always have been doing. But we renew that concept and we take ownership for that concept. And we believe that this is not coming from a lineage. So this has always been there, available in the Akashic records. What we have been taught is that how can we connect to the source and deliver the teaching today. So this is all we are doing today. We connect ourselves to the source and we are refreshing and updating and developing, enhancing, applying these practice techniques, process into our lives. So from limitation and believing that we need to be framed and we need to follow rules, we came out of that box and we realized that we want to honor the life, we want to honor all the masters, we want to honor the teaching, and we want to honor ourselves. So basically, that Amritnam network and community is basically here to vibrate a high frequency, and the highest each one can do, that will be our commonality. It says look to the highest frequency that each individual can reach. And we share an attitude of gratitude. We are honoring. So rather to follow a lineage and claim that we come from D and B and C, we are just honoring the legacy. Legacy is a legacy about a methodology and know how each one of us who have been touched and practiced long enough can today take the ownership of that practice and share where they are exactly as authentic people. So I call that the legacy of all masters, and we as a network and as a community, we are honoring all masters' frequencies. So therefore, some people were asking about what do you think about Buddha teaching, about Christ teaching, about Allah teaching, about Sufi teaching. Teaching is are one. So question is, we are not honoring names, we are not honoring institutional teachings, we are honoring the essence in all the masters. So this is sounding really as one. We are not making jam out of that, we're not comparing, we're not judging, we're just applying according to a methodology. And we're using the techniques that are proved to be efficient and real. So our master that we had, which was Yogi Bhajan, passed away and he gave us a legacy, not a lineage. He just dropped us and say, Fox, that's your time. And he didn't give up to anyone his empowerment or his role. So each of us has to find his own role today. And this is where I find myself. I am in a legacy from the ancient tradition, and I today share and spread the methodology and my experience about that. So we know how to connect to the source. We have been taught, we have practiced this, and today we are just doing this and spreading that. The second honoring is about honoring the individual. We are not honoring content and fabulous philosophy, because this is not a club. It is not a club of philosophers. We are individual, and each one is in uniqueness, has to work with himself to elevate his frequency. Therefore, our training, our methodology address the individual in his own progress and doesn't pretend to teach everybody the same content or the same teaching. So we're not for a unified teaching content, but rather a unified methodology that has been proven by people who applied it, to share it with others who need that, to be able to practice and to be encouraged, support, and loved in their own development. So we honor and support the individual development. We honoring the changes. That is another very strong value. Planetary is at changes. We are at the dawn of a great awakening of, we're going to change values globally. In the next 10 years, you will not recognize human beings on their motivation and their way of living. The lifestyle is going to totally, drastically change. So we see this, we anticipate that, and we prepare ourselves already today to be the human being of tomorrow. And this means I root myself in the changes. So there is no definition of today, but I am today ready to adapt to the change. And I am stable with the change and not denying it or pretend to stop the time. So honoring the changes is a very key thing. Therefore, maybe here and there, every 6 months or whatever will be the necessity, we might change our mission statement, because that is the key leading force that when you read the mission statement, you feel uplifted, you feel excited, you feel motivated, and you feel passionate. And this should remain like this. So when your mission statement is obsolete, change. And this is our decision, that we will continue to go with the change. And when we see we are obsolete and we deny ourselves, we will have to review, question ourselves, and redefine what is the direction. So this is a new strategy that, instead of having a target and thinking we're going to go there and la, 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 we shoot the bullet, we sit on the bullet, and we go with it. And we readjust the direction as it goes. So go with the change, honor the change. Now is in the midst of honoring the change, we need to honor the manifestation on earth, which is not like be rooted in the cloud and expanded your consciousness and be with the highest frequency and that be living like a balloon. We want to anchor our inspiration, our dreams, our vision into the earth in several places, wherever somebody has enough caliber and energy to manifest physically on this physical plan the new earth, the new reality. This can be through farms, through centers, through projects, through light community where people will start living for one another. It doesn't matter how it manifests, but we want something to manifest on earth. I've been dedicating my life for 18 years, parallel to teaching all over the world, to manifest a beautiful place, which is like a jewel for us. It is Le Martinet, Domaine Le Martinet is offer and available today to come and practice, to elevate yourself. We have anchored the 7 rays into the earth, and we are now sharing this beautiful place where a community is living there and ready to welcome you. So this is a sacred space for us, and it's like a place where people just come, and by stepping on that land will never be the same ever. And we have seen this again and again and again. This is like thousands and hundreds of thousands of people since 18 years who have been there, and it continues to come from all over the world. And we encourage people in their local area, if they can manifest enough of a community energy to offer part of their income to manifest a place and a land where they could root their practice and share their practice. And not only that, it can be any sort of project anchoring into. So we honoring the manifestation. It can be in your job, it can be a small business, it can be anything, you know, but bring the light into your action. The last honoring is honoring the spreading of the light. This is a very specific approach of how you can empower yourself and shift paradigm when you change your priority and your choices. So this, I'm going to develop it today, that part of honoring the light, spreading the light. Because this is something that looks very actual, but actually I did that ahead of time, and many of us did it in those times. I was 30 years old when I did that. So this is really changing and reversing the priority and where you tap in your energy of motivation, inspiration, and power. Most of people are good dreamers, but they have a hard time to assume and channelize the power and manifest that power. I think many people were jealous of the power I could generate and share openly with anyone. I never drive anyone from that power because this was just pure light, uplifting energy, inspiring energy for those who wanted to take it. So this is very different from the power you use when your personality wants to become spiritual. We have come from a long journey, Most of our education and mine, by example, was absolutely like this. You were supposed to make it in your life. You were supposed to have an earthly role where you would succeed. That's what I was told when I was a child. I say you should study, you should get your exam, you should get your certificate and diploma and PhD. Then you will pass the other side of society, will part of those who can lead others from your intellectual achievement, and then you will have a good profession, and so and so. When I was 16, I faced my father when he was telling me this kind of stories, and I say, you know, Father, I will never work to earn money. I don't know where it came from, but I can tell you he was on his bum, and since that day we have a hard time to share. So I had to confront his authority because for him it was so essential to make a living and to achieve somewhere a position in society. And I knew deep in myself I didn't come for that. This was really the first time I realized I'm dysfunctional. I'm not part of that society. Something is wrong in this family. But he was a wonderful father. I had a wonderful mother. They took care of me very wonderfully. But it didn't fit with me. I didn't fit in them. There was something wrong. So, of course, I was looking for the true teaching. And in spite of that, I had to follow because I had no other option. So I ended up being a forest engineer. I was working in the national forest for the government. That was the wish of my father somehow, because he wanted me to be secure, he wanted me to have a regular income and have a sort of a position. When I reached the 30 years, so I find the essence of the teaching I was longing for, and I was looking for a master, and I find somebody who just gave me an opportunity to go through the experience of awakening Kundalini. After that, it opened my memory to who I am really. I just had such a fusion with my higher self that I laughed about all I was living, and I decided, okay, I can't continue like this. I was, at the same day, I was scared to drop this job that gave me good income and good security. And in the same time, inside me was a rush and a strong energy that says, you're not going to waste your life and earn money as a beggar because of your cleverness. I wanted to plug into the source of the divine, and that he would give me my bread, not my mind. That's exactly the way I felt at that time. So what I did, I was going through the first crisis of my life. I went through, I had a loan in the bank. I had a family that I had to divorce because it was a total paradox and completely opposite of my choices. And I say, I will care for them, but I want to serve my destiny, and I will now engage myself into being a guide, being a teacher. This was an amazing jump in that time, because everybody look at me and says, this guy is mad. How can you, in the middle of a society that is going through crisis, there was a lot of unemployment and everything, and I dropped a job that was so secure, and I decided I go for my destiny. I go to honor the teacher within, because I felt strongly that's the only thing I want to serve, and it's the only thing I want to live for, and therefore even die for it. Do you understand? I was 30 years old. This is many, many years ago. Many years ago. 30 years ago and more. If you want to know my age. And what I see today, Fox, you have to do the same. Exactly the same. I was ahead of time. That's what people used to slang me with the name of being ahead of time. I was always like not in agreement, because I would see what is coming and what needs to be spread and how we need to change our attitude and access. And people were so conservative, so slow into that. So I would a little bit push the wall, but not strong enough, because I had to somehow survive in that world at that time. Today, folks, the good news is that old world is already fall apart. This is 2012. In those times, I didn't understand, all this endless prophecy saying like 2012, the end of the world, and we see nothing. People say, this was a joke. But when I look back, oh my God, I realized this was it. This is really a page that turned, and that's it. This old world disappeared, but it was so subtle, so underneath, that even those like me who were on the wave surfing, I couldn't really accept it. I couldn't really acknowledge it. Today, when I look back, what I went through these years, since even 2006 or 7, then boom, all the way until now, it is an amazing adventure of changes. So many things fell apart in my life again. But I was professional of that. I initiated, as I started to drop my old life and my earthly intention of life, I already learned to lose security, to lose references, and find that reference within me, within my passion, within my soul. Because actually, where is your passion? Real passion is your soul. That's where it is. And when you start plugging into your timeless self as your true identity, your true motivation, the real thing that makes a meaning to your heart, and you decide to sacrifice your fear, your shame, your limitation, your possession, your ownership, all that stuff, you say, I'm going to dedicate my life for the sake of that light, that source of inspiration in me that flow through my body and make me vibrate, make me alive, make me excited, even though I will not avoid the day of down and depression, because this is up and down and doubting. It's just a proper element of our growth. We need to face the doubt here and there and time again, because our enemies, which is the doubt, is also our teacher. We don't need to eliminate the doubts. We need to face them and go through it and find the resource in ourselves. But when we are shaking and doubting, even though you are plugged into the source, there's still the little one in you. I call it the imposter. Yeah, the imposter is in the bag and you can't get rid of that. You have to deal with it. So I had to deal with that imposter time and time again. He would not leave me. Yeah. So many people judge me because they thought I am the imposter. No, I never been an imposter. When you say I was a fake, I never be a fake. I fake it to make it, for sure. But inside me, my intention has absolutely been pure from A to Z, all along. So I chose to serve the light, nothing else. And that was my pure intention from day one. And guess what? Today, I find it again. The Great Awakening is giving me so much inspiration. After all the down, after all the slandering, after all the shame and everything I had to wash, I discovered that that is not stopping me to serve the Great Awakening. So folks, you are the same. You went through loss. Maybe you lost your husband. Maybe you lost your dearest friend. Maybe you have lost your relationship. Maybe your children are going astray into drugs and I don't know what kind of scenario. You are losing a lot. Money, partner in your business, market. We are losing. This is the time for acceleration to hit the wall of limitation. Our identity and personality is based on a limited view on life. This is, we call it Kala chakra. This is, the Kala means time. Akala means beyond time. You understand that? Kala chakra is hitting you. Time will hit you. I'm 68, you see? And I face this Kala chakra and I go with the time. Time cannot stop you if you are timeless. But if you're bound to time, you will start having this projection of retirement plan. And one day I will retire. What is a warrior of light that retired? We never retreat. We go forward, never backwards. So if you plug yourself into the timeless personality, you will not fall in the pit of limitation. The limitation comes because you gave yourself a role on this planet to manifest the best of you based on your physical condition, emotional condition, or mental condition. These are 3 dimensions of you, absolutely limited. What your mind can think as a functional mind is limited. What your emotion can engulf is limited. What your physical body can take is limited. It was born, it will die. There is a clock inside. Your pranic body, it tells you 1 day less, another day less. Time is going and you are scared of that clock. Do you understand? If you identify to this 3 dimension of being a body, being an emotional self, or being a mental self, you're gonna hit the wall. Now, we thought we transcend the time. Where there was a mountain and difficulty, we make it a plain, we make it flat. Where there was a hole and a valley, we fill it up to have it flat. We killed the wolf, we killed the bears, we thought we are safe. We are not. We are limited. We have reacted to a world that was not welcoming for those who were weak, and we're dying from condition, life condition. Our ancestor went through an amazing challenge just to survive on this planet. Then we fought for territory, the space and time. Again, for many, many, many centuries, we just kill each other because we want to defend our limits. And today is a limitation of market and money exchange and commercial balance between the East Bloc and China and the West Bloc of ours. So where we're going to end up? In a wall again, in a limitation again. Whatever you project in your life will end up with your retirement plan. And this retirement plan is peanuts. You're going to end up shaking with your peanuts and your teething. That's how you want to die. I think we have much more to offer to the world, and we don't know how to do that. We are people of goodwill. We are human people. We understand the pain of each other going through this life of limitation, and we don't know where is the resource. How can we come out of that? How can we come out of heavy sicknesses? How can we come out of no prosperity? I hold this question there that you sent us. These are not questions. As long as you question why I will make it, why make me short, why I'm not prosperous, why I don't have the right partner, why? Within a perspective of a life based on samsara, achievement within the earthly plan, you think limited, you manifest limitation. Do you understand that? Your level of frequency is exactly in resonance with your reality. If the strength, the power of intention is rooted in your third chakra, you want to manifest the strengths of your personality and your capacity, physical, emotional, and mental, you generate a world that will become your cage. It will become your prison. It will bring you to see that you are locked in the limited reality because the origin of your intention was in a limited reality. Now, if you take a minute to dive into yourself and to feel, to sense your timeless dimension, where is it? Where is this guy? I never thought of it. I think this is a philosophy, this is a concept. Today is not. Today we realize even the doctors, even the scientists have put in evidence that we are a soul, that we have a timeless dimension that is keeping the harmony of this physical body as long as you are alive and will leave this body as soon as you die. This is now observed. We need just to remember and plug in our sensory system with the sensation of being timeless. This is what I got as a blessing when I had that Kundalini awakening. I totally immersed my sense of self into my higher self. So it was so obvious that I never had any second thought since then that I am timeless. This is who I am. I know that. Of course, those who do not have that experience, you need just to sit down. Because like I said in the last KARTA time, through a very peaceful stage of consciousness, when you are on standstill, like a lake of mountain, focus on your breath and be grateful for the life that flows through you. You start connected with another dimension of you. And if you go deep in that welcoming, what breezes through my lungs, what make my heart beat, and just feel it through gratitude toward life, you will discover you will go through the experience of the timeless self. There is no recipe for that. I can't provoke an experience now on this video, and maybe you can sense it. But this is what we do and deliver in our teaching and in our classes and exercise and experience we put you through is as many times we can. We help you to dive and experience the resonance with your true self, which has another frequency than the 3D. Is a timeless, is a akala, is beyond Kala Chakra, is beyond time, beyond limitation of space. Now, if you're able to repeat, that was the basics of the teaching, is repeat your communion with yourself, repeat the relationship with your true self, repeat connected with that source of energy, because at the end it becomes a pure energy. It's not just light or enlightenment experience, it's just an amazing stream of exaltation, of bliss, of joy that comes down into a sense of motivation and excitement to manifest. When you start plugging your consciousness from that perspective, that center of self, you will discover that you have other gift than the one given by your mental capacity. These other gifts can be put into practice, can be useful for people. Let's say one of the most obvious gifts that we see spreading all over the place today is healing capacity. There is no healers who can heal anybody, but there are human beings who are so human. They understand how people are disconnected from their source, and these people are completely connected. And when you meet somebody that is connected and can help you to replug with your source, the flow of healing starts to manifest. So it is not that hocus pocus on somebody has power on you. Nothing. This is your own power, but you have renounced to it. You have denied it. You have cut yourself from the source of true power. That Shakti, you know, we call the Adi Shakti, that energy that moved the whole planet. Why you think he moved the planet and not you? How can you be so separate? But if you do not nourish the communion, the relationship to that source that of you, you will feel separate and you will be desperate. So I think people who are going into depression is a very good sign. Good news. Something is awakening in you. Those people who fall victim of time and space, that is an illusion. Nobody can ever be a victim when you, in your essence, you are timeless. But of course, within the frame of time, and if you believe that you are limited, you will become a victim of time. That's what happens all around us every minute. Depression, loss of motivation, loneliness, all these kind of feelings are coming because you cut yourself from the source of inspiration, the source of bliss. The energy that nourishes your body, the source is absolute rejoiceful. It is bliss. It's not the ha 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 laughter and joy that because you had a good meal or you drink too much wine or so. It's a very deep sense of rejoicing life for what it is. When you plug into the source, that's what comes through. We call this Amrit. That's why our school is called Amrit Nam Sarva. We are just a pot. We're just a tank of that Amrit where anyone can come and remember by drinking that who you really are. Timeless. Beyond space. So when you center your identity in the timeless being of you, you can see, you can come into the earth and bring your gift in many, many ways. If you remember, for those who did what we call level 2, which is working on the mind space, we had that wheel of mind where we use as a healing of the wise, we call it, circle. It was showing how the Buddhi mind can interact with the functional mind and give you an access to very unique archetype of identity. Now, if you look at it from the Buddhi mind, you will understand that you have many roles you can play on this planet from that perspective down, and bring this gift to share with others. Of course, at first you will not understand how can that make money. This I agree with you. I was the same. I never thought I'm going to make money. I always trusted that what I will need, because I had a wife, I had children, whatever we will need will be covered. That was my contract with the divine, and I really put my finger up and I say, you know, I drop everything, but you've got to take care of me now because I can't do that myself, yeah? And you know what? It did it. It really did it. Since that day, I never checked my bank account. I never been in red anymore. Before that, I had this fixed salary, and every month I would spend more than I had. And I always went into red and paid these agios to the bank. Since I was in the divine bank, I never checked my account and I was never minus. So it is a tranquility of the mind and the trust you have. The unlimited self is plugging unlimited capacity, and this unlimited capacity will run to you when you have the guts to stand for that identity. If you give up, if you're scared, if you're ashamed, you're going to immediately squeeze the pipe and nothing will come to you. The minute you open up, trust, and plug into your limitless identity, then the resources are exactly the same. It comes from the same dimension. This is not a money problem. It is your connection to the unlimited potentiality that can reign on this planet through you. You need to open up to be that channel. The minute you open up, it will flow through you. This is my personal experience. This is not philosophy from the book. I have verified it. I have trusted it. And today is a habit. I don't know how to function differently. I don't even question that process. But I realize, so by your question, that was amazingly rich, maybe we can read some of this question, and you will see it verify what I'm just telling you now. Maybe, Haranan, you want to read, or, yeah?
What can I do to integrate more tolerance into my life? I notice myself thinking, I know it better. If you would live like this, or do this or that, it would be much better for the person, for the world, or whatever. On the one hand, I know that everything is right the way it is, but on the other hand, I cannot stop this arrogant way of thinking.
You see, that is arrogance. When you realize you're arrogant, it means you are self-deceived. You are desperate. You are sitting on the pride of a personality that is limited and think it could achieve something, and then you face the limit, and then you pretend it doesn't exist. That's exactly what I was saying, you know. When you plug in the source of timeless identity, this will not happen. Then next question.
This one is from Russia. What do I do when after 5 years of studies, I cannot collect the group of people, I cannot involve them to do yoga? how do I attract people to my classes?
So this is this is a paradox of a teacher who have no student. You say, how can I attract student? You understand? It is not a marketplace. You can advertise. You can be a network. You can be online. You can do anything you want. If you don't have the magnitude, nobody will show up. Yeah? So you need to vibrate the cosmos. That's what we used to teach. But what it means exactly, plug into your limitless identity. Trust that you are serving that limitless identity and see how this will attract people who search for overcome their limitation. Do you understand? If you yourself are living in limitation and you think through yoga you're going to achieve something, then you're just like anybody else. You know, this is a gym club. This is not yoga. So you need to work and meditate on yourself, elevate your frequency, and trust the limitless, the timeless source. Again, I will not repeat it enough. Next question.
In this new Aquarian age, I feel the Shakti energy adopting and modernizing Yogi Bhajan's Kundalini teachings, and yet there's still a holding on to his traditions. What are your thoughts on this?
So you understand, Yogi Bhajan is Yogi Bhajan. He was in his time and he was extremely effective. He played his role. He chose his role of timeless teacher. He was a guide. He was an uplifter. He was playing all the roles a soul can manifest on this planet. He showed us the way. He was a way shower. He brought the light in a time where nobody would think of it. And then he left. He said, bye-bye. Now it's your turn. So we don't have to be monkey. We are not here to repeat and copy what he did. He just say, I expect you to realize your stage. He expected you not to be followers. So we are exactly practicing that in our community. We are just experiencing the actuality of how can we today, through who we are today, and not Buddha, not Yogi Bhajan, not Mahomet, but me, Karta, or Aranand, or anybody, bring the light with his own scope, with his own capacity, and everyone can do that. So we don't have to copy and we don't have to follow. We are not followers. We are not in the lineage. We are living the legacy. That's what I say in my introduction. So that's answer your question. So we do one more because time is running and I will talk about that.
I went through absolute loss of self and everything and entered surrender in a traumatic moment, and yet it led me to me. I'm not attached to anything now. I find it difficult to live normally. I have entered into my work as a healer, and after serving over 7,000, I find myself longing to leave the density of earth, even though great blessings have come to me. I am alone, not lonely. However, relationships with non-awakened people are now exhausting me due to their high demand for my gifts. I've witnessed miracles. The thing is, I'm not having fun in my own life experience anymore. I'm desiring a loving partner. I don't feel at home on earth. How do I shift this?
So, this is a mix. You know, this is very interesting. This is somebody who had the intuition to be a healer. He understood a longing from the heart, but she did not maintain the connection with her higher self, with her soul long enough. So she goes up and down, up and down. She's like playing the yo-yo. It's like in meditation. So one day you are the healer, you are in the space, you're absolutely accurate, you're completely timeless and limitless. And then you come out of that stage and you become an ordinary person again. And I think that's what she's doing. She's doing yo-yo. And so when she's desperate, it's because she fall back in the limited identity and sees her limitation, and then she's exhausted. So these are signs that you are not totally aligned. I'm not saying you are right or wrong. I'm just saying continue, keep up. That's one of the is showing that it's not obvious. We are changing, we are mutant, but we are not changing overnight. We are on our way of delivering our timeless self. So you need to meditate every day, and you need to connect to this timeless soul and then receive that inspiration. When you heal people, a sign that you are centered on your true identity is you feel empowered, uplifted after a healing session. You are not exhausted. And if you feel that many people are in demand from you, that means you put yourself at the level of their demand, but you're not remaining yourself timeless. So they are using the energy of your body, or your emotion and your mind, but you're not plugged at that moment to your source. You see this? You cannot exhaust yourself by delivering your true self. You empower yourself even more. So it can be a down on vitality when you're on your own and you have sleep a few hours for 2 weeks. Then of course you're going to be physically exhausted, and you can abuse yourself by serving this channeling of your timeless energy. That can be physically, but it's for you, not because of what you do, not because of the delivery. It is you with yourself. So that's another story. So I guess you should keep up and you should continue. Perseverance will bring you to, and that's why we say repeat. If you repeat your connection to your true source, to your timeless personality, then you will manifest it. You understand? Okay, so I wanted to now share this realization. For me is you are putting together a very interesting question. And I think when I put up the KARTA time, I didn't know where we are going. And I'm discovering now it is a 4th time. And I start to observe that I think this is so important. And I cannot mix up I would say, the uplifter in me that wants to share with you the excitement, the realization I have month by month, and how the energy can be uplifted again, and how we can share the inspiration. That is one part of the KARTA time. The other one is the Kundalini update, how the Kundalini Tantra Yoga can evolve in the practice. And you have many questions that are about a reflection of your practice and limitation you see in your practice, details on the technology, on the methodology, on the relationship with the student, with yourself, with your family, the experience you go through are basic questions. And I feel now I'm touched, and I feel I want to answer all of your questions, not as an answer. You know, our methodology, we don't answer questions, but I want to address them. I want to honor you. So I think by September we're gonna create another blog, another place that will be specifically to address your question and bring a sort of a debate and elevation and uplifting sharing about my point of view and how I would deal with the question you ask yourself. So I want to go in that direction. So don't think if your question are not answered this time or last time, I keep this, I have it with me, I process it. You probably will get the answer beyond this time. And I've seen this, you know, if you formulate the question right enough, and I totally receive your question, I honor them, even if they are not treated online, be sure they are treated on another level, on the timeless level. And the answer is coming if you plug on that and says, how? Now, your question for those who send me the question is, how I can be guided to come out of that question. You understand? Don't look for the direct answer. Just ask to your soul, to the guides that are connected, and we are all connected here. Ask them, how can you take me out of that question? And you will see how it unfolds in the next few weeks. you will have the answer. So that's my suggestion for now. And I think until September, we're going to try to put it together and offer you a time. I want to offer you 1.5 hours, maybe 2 hours, for really go deep into question. And then the KARTA time of now will remain as an inspirational, impacting the world and uplifting session. So this is the idea I'm boiling right now with. So I wanted to share with you, so you're not desperate that you don't hear your name. I'm not answering directly your question. I'm very aware of that. I'm not playing with that. And I want to acknowledge that and honor that from you. And I feel so touched by your input. I mean, every time you come back, and every time is so true, so direct, so honest. And I think I really, really honor you for that. So here we are. Now, maybe the last little bit, I think we're almost getting out of time. Okay, I shortcut the end now. I could go, like usual, KARTA time, you know, beyond time. So, so let's say, I will see you again in Moscow, the 3rd of June, for those of you who are in Russia and in this Moscow region. We're going to have a fantastic Tantra Soma that is about exactly the topic we were sharing right now, which is manifest your mastery. And that's going to be about the 3P that I call it. The 3P is about a light warrior principle. 3 principles of the light warrior principle. Number 1, be patient. I don't explain this, huh? You understand? Be patient. I see you next time. Second, punctuality. Punctuality means be where you need to be, when you need to be, and don't escape, don't run away. When time catches you, face it. Be there in the time. Because if curse, challenge, walls will confront you, also blessing are there. So if you run away from confrontation, you run away from blessing. So be in time. Punctuality means the warrior is in time. Not too late, not too early to the battle, just in time. Punctuality is the second P. Patience, punctuality. What is the last one? Perseverance. Keep up. Perseverance means if you face a calamity, difficulty, and shame, ask for more. If you ask for more money, if you ask for more partner, if you ask for more goods and easiness in life, ask for more challenge as well, because that's where you're going. So from your source, bless yourself with this excitement and joy to face the time and space as two sacred friends and not as two limitations. That's it. Satnam. I honor you all. I bless you all. I love you all. I feel empowered with that session, and I feel that you are also empowered, and we will see you in Le Martinet from June to September. We will be there. In other locations where we are traveling, in India with the Ayurvedic amazing 2 weeks we're gonna do, guiding you through the process with amazing practitioner of Ayurveda with fantastic adequate foods and treatment. So I will be there. Love you all. Thank you for Aranand and Sirideva have been assistant for me. I think you have not seen them many. Here they are. So that was our amazing session. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Satnam, thank you. See you next month, 24th of June. That will be 24th of June, the next KARTA time, number 5.